Today, I've teamed up with them to bring you this gorgeous, gorgeous girl. She is a pre-cut lace glueless wig, and I'm going to install her for you for beginners. She did come pre-styled with the baby hair, again, pre-cut lace. The middle part was already defined. Everything was literally ready to go. So I did a little bit of a glueless install, and then we're going to go ahead and define the curls. So if you're interested in seeing the tutorial, the style, the curling products, and all of that, keep on watching. Okay, ladies, let's get right into it. Absolutely in love with this packaging. I've been obsessed. Today we're going with a Kinky Curly 24-inch wig, and this one has the pre-cut and pre-styled baby hair. Here is a look at that kinky curly texture. This is also a look at the inside construction of the cap. This is a 7x5 invisible bye not wig, and this is what it looks like as we put it on. She does include an adjustable elastic band, so we anchor it on and then we go ahead and put the back on as well as the front. I was pleasantly surprised by the look, the fit, the baby hair, and everything about it. It definitely lays flat, and you definitely get that beautiful 7 inches of parting space going back. Here is what it looks like from the back. I believe this one is 24 inches in length, and of course there is a direct link in the description box with all of the details on this wig. So step one for me is just to pull the hair back, and I'm going to go ahead and secure my own edges. Although this one is a kinky texture, so it'll blend beautifully with my edges. It's just nice. It just looks a lot more neat and clean when your edges are slicked back, super nice. And then I went ahead and cut off a little bit of lace on the side just so that everything can fit flat and glueless once we melt it. Now I'm going to go ahead and just tint the lace. Typically this is the last step I do, but here I was trying out a newer lace tint. You guys know I love the Ruby Kisses foundations as lace tints on my hairline, but this one is one in, I believe, the darkest, or even maybe the second to darkest, if not the darkest shade. So I wanted to make sure it wasn't too dark, and as you guys can see, you can definitely tell it's darker and a little bit more cocoa than my complexion. So I wanted to apply it first and then add the non-glue adhesive on top. That way it can kind of like get wet a little bit and melt with the product, if that makes any sense. And I was hoping that it would give it more of a realistic and flawless look. I went ahead and added the melt belt on top, and while that goes ahead and dries and sets and does its work, let's go ahead and work on the length of the hair. So we are working with 24 inches in length. It definitely looks shorter because, as we already know, the shrinkage is real when it comes to curlier textures, especially Kinky Curly. We're going to be using this mousse today, and she comes from Herbal Essence. This one is super affordable, so I was just trying her out, and I believe this was like my first or second time with this product. Now, as you guys can see, it's a lot different than like the Nairobi. It kind of like when it comes out, it gets very like big and cloud-like, but that cloud will literally stick together and not just like liquefy instantly. So when you apply it like on top of the hair directly, it will like sit on top and fall off. So I learned with this one just to kind of like put it in my hand and push it in, or if I'm gonna apply it directly, you have to immediately like kind of like press it in to dissolve it a little bit. Now I did like this one. It wasn't watery. It definitely had like a product base to it, but since it's a kinky curly texture, you definitely, in my opinion, would want to use a cream product with your mousse if you're going to use mousse, just because again, the kinky curlier textures do require a little bit more moisture to tame, just like the kinkier curlier textures as far as like my hair or, you know, like natural brown girl hair. So here I wanted to try something a little bit different. Typically I would use a dimming brush, and today I am using a wet brush. Now I've mentioned this before because I've used this a few times on my channel, but this particular brush is a part of my daughter's collection. They have the Tiana one, and then they have this one, which I believe she's Snow White or she's Cinderella. I think she's Snow White. The Tiana one is in their drawer, and this was the other. So I kind of put this in my stash of hair stuff just to kind of get familiar with it and see if I like it. Here is a close-up of what it's doing to the curls. I love the way it defined the wave pattern, and as you guys can see, the hairline did have time to melt and dry and bond down and all of the above, and I do like the way it came out. I also like the way the parting came out. It's super simple, flat, flush, but it definitely kept that beautiful wave pattern. So I'm going to set it off by tinting the lace, and this here is a Ruby Kisses foundation palette. And then after that, I did go ahead and play with the baby hair. Because this one comes with the pre-styled baby hair, it does come like molded in a way that it kind of like is not gonna just move when you comb it. So you can add like a little bit of mousse to it, and that'll loosen it up. And obviously it came that way because in packaging you don't want them to say like, oh, we're giving you pre-styled baby hair, and then it's like loose and feathery, and then through the shipping and handling process it kind of will move around. It has to stay molded, you know, in order for it to arrive to you as so. So again, I added a little bit of mousse, a little bit of edge control, and styled it how I like it. You can definitely cut it shorter or switch it up, thin it out if you like, but this is the finished result. I'm doing my makeup off camera and we are ready to go. Okay, so we are done with the makeup. I was gonna say we're done with the look, but let's kind of pull it together so you can see what it's given and tell me how I look. I went ahead and did my makeup, and actually the hair itself had time to dry because the whole family is home except for Dakota. Diamond had a tummy ache, so he convinced me to let him stay home. The tummy ache officially, magically, gracefully disappeared. Everyone was home, so they were all in my bed, which is adjacent to where I'm sitting. So we had a good little powwow, but time to get back to work, and they're gonna go get Coxie Boo from school. But this is the look, and this is what it looks like when the hair begins to dry. Now of course this hair is nice and full, so in the center you can still feel it being a little bit damp, but you can get a gist of like what the hair looks like when you come up close. I love like the wave or like wavy texture that you get in the lace area, and then it comes down and it turns into these beautiful curls, and it gets a little bit more fluffy at the ends, and I love that for me. Hopefully that makes sense. I love how big and fluffy this one is, but again how defined the actual curl pattern is, and just how beautiful the curls are. Also, I want to say that I do love the fact that this was a very easy install, super nice wear and go wig with the pre-styled baby hair. You don't have to do much of anything at all, and I think I blended the hairline amazingly. So of course I have it linked in the description box. You can definitely go ahead and check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Smooches. Nadula.